Hello and welcome to another episode of Jarmug Plays Lonely Mountains Downhill. We take one day off. One day off. You forget what the game is called. Yeah. I was gonna say thanks for letting me take yesterday off, but it's not really like a. I don't get paid for this. This is like free content. Well, I mean, honestly, I'm here to thank you for the time you take to just show up and hang out and like listen to these episodes, and like I hope they're providing good stuff to your life, etc., etc. But I do recognize that we got to take some days off sometimes, and I felt like Christmas Day was the one. I was like, all right, I don't have the time to squeeze in this episode, so there we go. Yeah. Speaking of which, what'd you guys do? You guys have a good time? Oh boy. Like Christmas time is like it's a weird thing. It's a weird combination of like way too busy, but like you get a lot of free time off of work, so like it's kind of worth it, you know. It's one of those times that's one of those holidays that's just like universally what's the word I'm looking for, recognized. Even if it's not Christmas that you're celebrating, even if it's just like if it's one of the other holidays, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, etc., etc. Yo, where does this go? Do we keep going down? Is that a massive shortcut we've never used? Also, I'm over here looking at, like, trying to find some checkpoints. We don't have checkpoints in this. Ay. This guy's hopeless. Okay. Good. Or clueless? I guess clueless is more like it. There's always hope. Oh, speaking of hope, we're watching Star Wars. I forget what it's called. I don't really care about the... I can't remember the subtitles to all of the new Star Wars, like to the Force something, the Force Unleashed is the first one. No, the Force Unleashed is like it's a video game. For some reason, I'm going back to a Jimmy Fallon bit, or at least it was on his show, where there was a guy that was outside of his studio asking everybody if they've heard of the new Star Wars movie, Star Wars Deport Clay Aiken. And everyone's just like, yeah, man, yeah. I'm excited for the new Star Wars. I like that Disney has purchased them and given them new life. They're just not noticing that he's not saying The Force Awakens. The Force Awakens. That's what it is. Okay, we just got night mode. All right, so it's The Force Awakens, Return of the Jedi. No, the Last Jedi. I'm not trying to be funny here, okay? In case you're like, why is he doing this bit? It's not funny. I'm not a guy that does bits. I mean, maybe not yet. Maybe it's something that can be practiced. Like storytelling has never really been like a forte of mine, which is weird because I'm like, yo, let's make some podcasts where I'm the only one talking, so I guess I have to tell some stories. I mean, you might beg to differ, I guess. Like, you've been listening to these this long. A friend of mine calls these word soup podcasts, where I just kind of blurt out whatever's on my mind, which is exactly where I want to take it, to be honest. Hold on, am I allowed to skip checkpoints here? I'm not. Let's go back from the beginning. There we go. Good stuff, good stuff. Oh, I just got a text from my brother. He just purchased Entered the Gungeon. Yo. Look, anybody who's a fan of Enter the Gungeon, if you guys have seen my Twitch badge in chats, that's one of my jams. It's a good jam right there. It's just it's good arcadey, you know. It's one of the best roguelikes. You know, I'm just now recently getting into. I got into Binding of Isaac after I learned a lot of Gungeon. So obviously, I'm just now like understanding all of the influence that it took from Binding of Isaac and like understanding all of that. But like if runs were just a little bit shorter in Gungeon, I would still be playing it right now, like non-stop. But you know, it's really hard to find like a whole hour. But also the Switch allows you to play 15 minutes here, put it on pause once you're on a new floor, and you can even save it. And I know that feature is on all the platforms, but like on the Switch specifically, you can just put it on standby, come back to it later. I like that. I like that a lot. But Gungeon is such a good game. It's hard to like fight that argument, just because like it has such wholesome references. Just the updates for it were non-stop. Like, yeah, it's just overall just really, really good. What were we talking about? Christmas stuff? I don't know. You guys are probably over it. It's the 26th. Let's talk about boxing, because it's, you know, Boxing Day in Canada. What is Boxing Day? I've looked this up before, but hold on. Boxing Day, Canada. What is the meaning of Boxing Day? The day after Christmas is a public holiday called Boxing Day across Canada. This means that it is basically a day off for everyone, and if you have to go to work, you should be paid time and a half. What? No, that makes no sense with the name. Several theories exist on how Boxing Day got its name. It may come from a tradition in the UK in which household employers boxed gifts for their servants. The name comes from storage boxes, not the sport. You know what? That's all I needed. I was like, Canada doesn't really care about boxing like the sport, as far as I know. That's like a US, Mexico. I mean, recently it's been the Philippines, obviously. Manny Pacquiao, yo, represent. Pac-Man fans unite. Pretty much just Filipino people. Okay, that's fine. Dude, boxing is one of those sports where if you watch a super technical boxing player, you're what would I compare it to for gamers to understand? Think of it like if you're watching. Oh my gosh, I'm going to Fortnite here. Okay, so you know how Ninja is pretty popular, right? You don't know Ninja? Tyler Blevins, notorious for not being able to cut bread and making fun of football players who can't kick field goals. He's popular because his style of play is aggressive. It's in your face. It's stylish. It's just wham, wham, wham. Get in there. Get the kill. Go. Basically, technical boxing is just defense. Stop yourself from getting hit, making the opponent look bad because they don't know how to land shots. And then, you know, land your shots. It's basically like it's like an arcade game where your goal is to defend all of the shots from your opponent while hitting as many shots as possible on your opponent. And it's extremely boring when it's done right. Manny Pacquiao was like, you know what? Screw that. I want to put on a show. And that's what I'm talking about. You know, he had showmanship. I love it. You know, all of the defensive boxing fans are just like, you're just hating, dude, because he couldn't beat Floyd. I'm like, man. All right. So first of all, your Money Mayweather didn't want to face Pacquiao when he was actually good. So let's just, let's back that up. Back your accusations up just a tiny bit. You know, he wanted to wait for LeBron James to be 36. That's a bad comparison because LeBron James is still the best player in the NBA. Giannis Antetokounmpo wants to say something about that. The Greek Freak is killing it. I know we just switched from boxing to NBA, and you're like, this is a sports episode? Come on, bruh. You just okay. So here's the thing: sports and weather, it's good conversation. It's very nice to fill the air, especially around the holidays. Yo, we just tied it back. These are good things to bring up when you have nothing to talk about with your relatives. You're like, hey, you guys watch the next the latest NBA, yada yada. I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to help you out. I don't know. You're like, I don't talk to my family. Well, maybe you should give that a try a couple times, because it's nice. It's nice talking to the family. Wow, I don't know why we're suddenly getting into like a serious tone here. But to be honest, like, if we want to go down this route, I'm actually really thankful for like holiday seasons for that specific reason. I don't know why we're rhyming. I found the reason for me to change you. What bike are we using? Oh, it's the Pace Breaker. I love this bike, but it's not what I typically use for free rides, because we can't make that jump. Okay, well, let's just play it safe. 1-800. Say photo, pick up the phone, the call is free. Honestly, like, sports definitely helps me get away from awkward conversation. Like, I went to a party where I didn't know anybody. It was my brother's girlfriend's relatives. And there was a family friend of those relatives there. And she just goes up to me and says, "What do you do for a living?" Like, okay, I don't know how to do this small talk. I have not been trained. I'm like, okay, I do tech support for this company. I'm going to be shifting positions soon. This is too serious. Like, can we talk about sports? I'm trying to make it big as like as a content creator. Just kidding. I do it for fun because I feel like I have something there. Yeah, there's a handful of people that enjoy it, so I'm gonna keep at it, keep the content as good as possible, and I want to get into a job where I can. I just start stammering, and they just start staring. So honestly, like, my best advice, if you're asked those questions, you're just like, say what you need, and then bounce, and be like, okay, cool. I mean, okay, so if you really wanna if you really want to engage the conversation and be part of it, I guess the next course of conversation would go, what do you do for a living? But she was honestly at the age where I was like, she might be retired, but I can't make the assumption that she's retired because she's gonna be like, "What? Do you think I look old?" There's just like a ooh. There's too many minefields in that conversation where I didn't have enough context. There was not enough context to start that conversation, so it was just it was a little bit awkward. But yeah, where was I? I wanted to say like sports is actually like much better to talk about than that. My voice is feeling a little bit better. We took one day off, and it's it's all of a sudden voice is golden. I mean, golden-ish. It's like bronze, like a little bit rusty, but yep. As soon as we start saying it, I get a coughing fit. No, it's good. It's one of the things I was one of the things about being like a talking person. Just language, please. Okay, so my brain, my throat is fixed, but my brain is not. Apparently. I think it's because I'm using 85% of my brain CPU to make sure I don't crash at the very end of this. Okay, we're good. But yeah, it's what I was trying to say. It was like it's one of those things where using your voice on a nightly basis, and that's a weird way to say it, but on a nightly basis, like I do, streaming / recording videos, etc., you start noticing things about your health. Like it's a lot more noticeable when your throat's not in a good shape. And that's kind of where I've been. I'm like, man, it sucks not having this. And I'm, it's much more noticeable when it gets better. I don't know. I'm just mumbling. Again, the brain is just gone right now. But I hope you enjoyed the episode. Hit that like button if you did, and hit that sub button if you want to watch the rest of this series. Man, I'm talking about it like that. We're pretty close to getting everything, aren't we? All right, we'll probably say that for another 45 episodes. We'll probably hit 100. But all right, I'll catch you on the next one, anyways. Yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Did I already say that? I'll just hit that stop button.